Bryce Young is still looking for his first NFL win, and so are the Carolina Panthers in the 2023 NFL season. They're the only team still to not win a game. And it's going to be even tougher for them, I feel, in this Week 6 matchup as they fly down to Miami to take on Tua and the high-flying Dolphins. Ryan, what does Carolina have to do in this game? I was even seeing looking at some injuries last week. It looks like Chandler Zavala, their guard, looks like he got hurt. He was discharged from a local hospital the same day and traveled back to the team. That's something to watch just to make sure that interior offensive line stays healthy. But just in general, though, this just definitely seems kind of like a rebuilding team with a young quarterback. The veteran receivers that they've gotten are good, but not great, and they're not able to get them over the hump. And this defense gave up 42 against the Detroit Lions, which, to be fair, the Detroit Lions probably has the second best offense in the league, only behind the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. That, to me, I mean, they need to find a way to get after Tua, really disrupt this offense. And it felt like in the Lions game, they were being reactive a lot. And if you do that, I mean, if you try to react to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, like they're already going to be 5 yards past you down the field. So they need to do some things to be proactive. I think they need to get after Tua and really take the game to the Miami Dolphins. And make Tua force turnovers, because even this season he's shown that if you can get in his face, then he can make some bad decisions. So that for me has been kind of the kryptonite there for the Dolphins, is getting into his face. And then on the offensive side of the ball, they need to find a rhythm. Their playmakers are better than I think how they're really playing. I think some of that has just been growing pains with a rookie quarterback, because we saw with Andy Dalton when he was in there, they were able to strike some sort of rhythm against the Seahawks defense. And I think put up 28 or 29 points.
27, I think.
27.
But still, I think the most amount of points that they put up this year.
Yeah. And so I think some of that's just growing pains. Carolina's not going to be a competitive team this year. So in no means am I saying like, oh, they should be playing Andy Dalton over Bryce Young. But that for me is the thing. It's like they need to find some sort of rhythm offensively. It looks like Jalen Phillips is still on the injury report. That could be something to kind of keep an eye on for Bryce Young's health and safety back in that backfield, especially with the interior of that offensive line being a little banged up. So what do you have to add on to that?
No, I'm with you. It's just kind of one, you're right, like maybe Andy Dalton gives you a little bit better shot, but something similar I would say with like the Indianapolis Colts, like in Gardner Minshew and Anthony Richardson. It's like, like you're trying to think long-term, you're trying to think big picture. You traded up number 1 overall for a reason. You're hiring a new head coach like in his first year for a reason. Whether or not that was a good hiring or not, that's up for debate at a later time, which I'm sure we'll do on this channel. But just in general, though, you're thinking 3 years, 4 years down. And I think this is going to be another game of just growing pains. This Miami offense is top-notch. They're leading the league in both passing yards and rushing yards, just total throughout. 12 passing touchdowns and 12 rushing touchdowns as well. Yeah, by far most rushing touchdowns, only by 1 in front of San Francisco, and they're 1 behind Minnesota in passing touchdowns. But Minnesota only has 13 total touchdowns throughout the entire season, all of them passing. So this Miami Dolphins is extremely dynamic. A-Chain is the one who he does add a whole new dynamic to this offense, and it's going to be something to watch as well. As it seems like he banged up his knee in last week's contest against the Giants. So something to monitor there, because I just feel he just adds this whole new dynamic. Really just allowing them to be able to run the ball effectively. Just because before him, there wasn't really that big of a threat of running in between the tackles or utilizing great, amazing speed outside the tackles. I know Raheem Mostert is extremely fast, but he is also 30 years old, 31 years old over these past couple of years. A-Chain has that youth, explosiveness that is just, I feel, unmatched in the league. And if it is matched, then that team doesn't have the explosiveness of Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and company. It's just, I don't see too many ways that Carolina wins unless if Miami just absolutely just lays down a stinker of a performance this Sunday.
I don't see a way that Miami loses either. So I guess that's our predictions there. I really think Miami wins this by 3 or more touchdowns. It's not really going to be close in my opinion. So
I agree.
So But let's go ahead and wrap this video up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. So go ahead and put the Miami Dolphins down there, and we will see you guys next time.